Hi, this is Cal Dietz here. I'm going to explain some of the purposes behind my walking dynamic warm-up. We actually do a jogging dynamic warm-up prior to doing the walking dynamic warm-up. The reason is we get more blood flowing, and then we do the dynamic walking one. We are actually able to get a lot of things done, from maybe some structural realignment if we're lucky, to some other things that I'll cover here in a brief moment. Anybody that's come in and visit me, we usually show them this, and they're very interested in it, because once they see all the dynamics that are involved in this and all the reasoning, they actually want to implement it. So let me give you a brief understanding, then we'll show you the actual dynamic walking warm-up. We actually do it, like I said, a jog before that, and then we have other stationary dynamic warm-ups, and we'll mix and match these things. The one you're about to see is done around an arena, and there's about 30 to 40 pillars around the arena. And what happens is at every pillar, the athlete does a standing dynamic movement, and then they'll do another dynamic walking movement to the next pillar. Okay, so they're not getting up and down. And so what you have is, I've actually had people do these in gymnasiums. So they'll put sheets of paper down, and at every new sheet of paper they're going around in a circle. They'll do a walking dynamic to the next sheet of paper, and then do a dynamic standing movement on their feet at the next sheet of paper, and then walk to the next one. So with that, I mean, there's a number of things that we do, and some of the fields involved in this dynamic warm-up is physical therapy, chiropractic medicine, applied kinesiology, neuroflossing, Z-Health we've used, vision training, we've used functional neurology from people like Mike T. Nelson. I've gotten ideas from Charlie Weingraf, we've gotten ideas from. So this dynamic warm-up, we keep throwing things in, taking things out. We try not to cross over, because you can do a lot of neat dynamic movements, but sometimes there's a lot of crossover in place. Some of the things, like, for example, in functional kinesiology, the cross crawl method, to make sure your right hand touches your left foot or the left limb of your the lower limbs, so that your body has an understanding of where it is. We've seen improved balance with force plates after completing this. We've applied methods that decrease balance, but then a dynamic warm-up after that actually increased balance. Some of the methods of implementation, like I said, we use around the arena, and every pillar it's used. We've used gymnasiums, we've had people use gymnasiums. A football field, you do it for 10 yards, do your stationary one, and then you go to the next 10 yards. So you can do it up and down a football field. The same with the jogging, and we'll get into that next. And ultimately, some of the details within this dynamic warm-up are too hard to list, like eye position, hand position, but you can get the main ideas behind what we're trying to do with this dynamic warm-up in regards to the physical aspects. Some athletes, we've had count, they've popped and cracked over 200 times while completing it. A lot of that has to do with structural realignments that are taking place, especially with the spine. Now, it could reduce your injury. I didn't have a lot of injuries prior to this, but this could reduce your injuries by doing a good dynamic warm-up, as most of us know. But ultimately, we feel that it actually just increases the athlete's ability to train hard again, especially with the spine and the hips. I believe you'll see the dynamics of it. And again, you can take any of these exercises. They're nothing particularly special. It's just accumulation of a bunch of different disciplines that I've put together to have our athletes do this particular dynamic warm-up. And I'll be honest with you, our athletes necessarily don't like it. They know it's good for them, and they know it keeps our injury rates down, but we have to stay on them, and they have to keep readdressing what we're doing all the time with them and why we're doing it. First movement we're doing here, our PNF Inside and Out against the wall, and then to follow that we will do Barefoot Walking to the next station. And then here we're doing PNF flares forward and backwards on the athlete. And then the next station will be walking inside of your feet on the inside edges barefoot. To the next station. And at this station, we're doing standing arm front circles, multiple directions. Notice the wrists are flexed, and in full extension, kind of the neuroflossing concept. You'll notice we're walking on the outside of our feet to the next station, barefoot. Then at this station, we're doing overhead arm circles. Again, wrists are extended to work neuroflossing concepts. Circles are often used. Then we're walking forward on our toes to the next station. We'll get to that station, and these are called pushaways, affecting the brachial plexus. Also know that the wrists are fully extended. Walk backwards on the inside of your feet to the next station. Again, all these inside, outside of the feet are strengthening the foot and the toe. This station, we're doing reindeer twists, squeezing your scaps back and rotating.